In an age when the world map was still a mystery, brave souls ventured beyond the known to claim the unseen. Imagine a time when the edges of the globe were shrouded in enigma. This was the age of exploration, a period stretching from the 15th to the 17th century, when audacious explorers set sail into uncharted waters, driven by a cocktail of curiosity, ambition, and daring. Two maritime powers, Spain and Portugal, led the charge, their kingdoms buzzing with the excitement of discovery. The motivations behind these perilous voyages were threefold. First, the promise of unimaginable wealth, as tales of lands overflowing with gold and spices ignited the imagination. Second, the hunt for new trade routes to the coveted riches of the East, routes that would bypass the costly and dangerous land paths dominated by the Ottoman Empire. And third, the zealous desire to spread Christianity to the far corners of the earth. These voyages were not just feats of human courage and ambition, but also marvels of technological innovation. The explorers of this age were armed with groundbreaking tools and techniques. Astrolabes and quadrants allowed them to measure their latitude by observing the stars, while the compass gave them a reliable sense of direction even on the cloudiest days. The ships themselves were marvels of the time. Take the Caravel, a nimble and sturdy vessel that could sail against the wind and navigate the shallow coastal waters of the New World. Its lateen sails, borrowed from the Arab world, gave it unparalleled maneuverability. The age of exploration was not just about the explorers, but also about the countless artisans, shipbuilders, astronomers, and cartographers who made these voyages possible. It was an age of collective ingenuity and bravery, a testament to what humanity can achieve when driven by the twin engines of curiosity and ambition. The stage was set for a clash of civilizations, the echoes of which we still feel today. This was the dawn of a new era, a time of discovery that would forever change the course of human history. The world was about to become a lot smaller and the consequences would be earth-shattering. Among these adventurers, a new breed of conquerors emerged, the conquistadors. These were men of ambition and audacity, willing to challenge the unknown for fortune and fame. Among the most notable were Hernán Cortés and Francisco Pizarro. Cortés, a man of humble beginnings, rose to become one of the most influential figures of his time. He set sail from Spain in 1519, driven by dreams of wealth and discovery. His journey led him to the Aztec Empire, a civilization rich in gold and advanced in its own right. Despite being vastly outnumbered, Cortés and his men, armed with advanced weaponry and driven by a ruthless ambition, managed to topple the mighty empire. On the other hand, we have Francisco Pizarro, a conquistador of similar resolve. Pizarro set his sights on the Inca Empire, the largest empire in pre-Columbian America. His desire for gold and glory led him on a perilous journey across the Atlantic and into the heart of the Andes. Despite the challenging terrain and the fierce resistance of the Incas, Pizarro and his men, through a combination of cunning and cruelty, brought down the Inca Empire. Both of these conquests were not without their trials and tribulations. Disease, dissent, and the daunting task of navigating unfamiliar lands were constant challenges. Yet the lure of gold, the thirst for glory, and the desire to claim lands for their crowns drove these men forward. Their encounters with the native populations were fraught with violence and exploitation. Many indigenous people lost their lives, while others were subjugated and forced to adopt foreign customs and beliefs. The fall of the Aztec and Inca empires marked the end of an era, as two of the most powerful civilizations of the New World were replaced by European rule. These conquests were not without consequence. They forever changed the face of the New World. The ripples of these events continue to be felt today, as we navigate our understanding of this complex and often brutal chapter of human history. The voyages of the conquistadors had far-reaching impacts, changing the world in ways they could not have imagined. As they ventured into undiscovered territories, these explorers became unwitting agents of change, triggering a global exchange of goods, ideas, and cultures known as the Columbian Exchange. This exchange was a veritable buffet of new foods, carrying the flavors of the New World back to the Old. Imagine biting into a juicy tomato in Italy, or savoring a hot buttered potato in Ireland for the very first time. These foods, now staples in their respective countries, were originally native to the Americas. And it wasn't a one-way street. The Old World reciprocated with wheat, cattle, and even honeybees. But this exchange was not without its thorns. As explorers journeyed across oceans, they carried with them more than just goods. Diseases, to which indigenous populations had no immunity, spread like wildfire. Smallpox, measles, and influenza decimated entire communities, altering the demographic landscape of the New World. And then there was the issue of slavery. The conquistadors, in their quest for wealth and power, often enslaved the indigenous peoples. This brutal practice not only resulted in the loss of countless lives, but also led to the erosion of native cultures and traditions. Yet amidst these adverse effects, the Age of Exploration also sparked a global dialogue. It brought different civilizations into contact, fostering an exchange of knowledge and ideas that shaped the course of history. It set the stage for the modern world as we know it, a world inextricably connected by the threads of exploration and discovery. The repercussions of their actions are still felt today, centuries later. The world we live in, the foods we eat, the languages we speak, and the diversity we celebrate, all bear the indelible mark of those voyages. The Age of Exploration, with all its triumphs and tribulations, continues to echo through time, reminding us of our shared history and our enduring spirit of discovery. But what is the legacy of the conquistadors that we live with today? The conquistadors' voyages and conquests left an indelible mark on the world, shaping the course of history and influencing the modern world in ways that are still evident today. Their impact extends far beyond the geographical boundaries of the lands they explored, reaching into the very fabric of our global society. The cultural remnants of the Spanish in the Americas, for instance, are deeply ingrained in the architecture and language. Gothic cathedrals and Baroque palaces reminiscent of those in Spain dot the landscapes of Latin America. Spanish, once the language of the conquistadors, is now spoken by over 400 million people in the Americas. These are the unmistakable fingerprints of the conquistadors, forever etched into the cultural DNA of the New World. But the legacy of the conquistadors is not confined to culture alone. Their explorations set the stage for the rise of Europe as a global powerhouse. The wealth extracted from the New World fueled the European Renaissance, igniting an unprecedented explosion of art, science, and philosophy that still reverberates across the world today. Moreover, these voyages sparked the beginnings of a globalized economy. The exchange of goods, ideas, and people across continents, often referred to as the Columbian Exchange, fundamentally transformed societies worldwide. From the potatoes that became a staple in Europe to the horses that revolutionized transportation in the Americas, the interconnectedness we enjoy today can be traced back to these explorations. Yet, this legacy is not without its shadows. The conquest brought about the downfall of majestic civilizations like the Aztecs and the Incas, and led to the tragic loss of countless lives. The repercussions of this darker side of the Age of Exploration are still felt today in the struggles of indigenous communities for recognition and justice. As we reflect on the Age of Exploration, we must remember both the daring courage and the devastating cost of these voyages. It is a tale of discovery and destruction, of opportunity and oppression, and it serves as a poignant reminder that history is not merely in the past, but a living, breathing part of our present. The Age of Exploration was a time of incredible discovery but also of immense destruction. This era, filled with tales of audacious adventurers and the unveiling of unseen lands, was a paradox. On one side lay the thrill of exploration, the revelation of new flora and fauna, and the exchange of cultures. On the other, it was the stage for brutal conquests, the exploitation of indigenous peoples, and the decimation of ancient civilizations. This Age of Exploration and exploitation is a mirror showing us two faces of human nature: the insatiable curiosity to know the unknown and the darker desire to dominate and control. It reminds us of the power of innovation and courage, but also the dangers of unchecked ambition and disregard for other cultures. As we reflect on this period, we recognize how it has shaped the world as we know it today. The voyages of these explorers led to the first global age, a world interconnected through trade and cultural exchange. Potatoes from the Americas found their way to the dinner tables in Europe, while horses from the Old World changed the lives of Native American tribes. Yet we must also remember the cost of these exchanges. Whole civilizations succumbed to foreign diseases and conquests. Ancient languages and cultures were lost forever. The echoes of this devastation still reverberate in the lives of indigenous communities today. So, what lessons can we learn from this era? Perhaps it is the importance of respect for diversity and the value of preserving cultures. It may be a reminder of the consequences of unchecked power, and the need for ethical exploration and innovation. As we stand on the shoulders of these explorers, we are left with a question: What legacy have they left us, and how will we shape the world for future generations? It is our duty to remember the past, learn from it, and use these lessons to navigate the currents of our time. The age of exploration is not just history, it is a compass guiding us towards a future that values discovery and respects diversity.